Hey everybody, Dr. Meri Crowley for Now is the Time. And I'm really excited to have back on my program today Jill and Shanna of the DETOX Girls. This is an amazing story, some amazing things that we're going to be talking about today on the program. And we're actually going to roll the commercial that Dr. Christina Ram, who I interviewed, a few years back, who actually has the formulation called the Root Brands, which has actually been changing people's lives. That we're going to be talking about the miracles of what happened to Shanna and Jill, but then what it can happen to you and your family as well. So let's roll that commercial, please.
Hi, my name is Dr. Christina Ram, and I am a scientist, but before I was a scientist, I was actually a psychologist. I learned a lot about neurotransmission, and then when I became a scientist, I started noticing and researching how people got sad, how people became angry, how they were stressed, how they were anxious. Heavy metals in our environment, environmental stressors, as well as parasites, as well as fungus, all of these things add up to a world and environment that is toxic. You know, when you have heavy metals and nuclear waste in the land, air, and water, it doesn't even leave the stratosphere. In fact, a mother passes these on to her child in the stomach. So we have compounded this over time. That was one of the reasons that I created the Trinity, which was clean slate, to really eradicate things out of the body, to help restore nutrients into the body, and zero in. Zero in was really one of my gifts as a psychologist and a scientist. There were certain ingredients like turmeric, curcumin, aloe vera. There were certain things like L-theanine, L-arginine that could really help people. There are a lot of ingredients, and I've worked with all of them. But I finally was able to work on a formula that I really think is the best that's out there. It's something that really helps the body because it supports the neurotransmission through natural ingredients. I wanted solutions for all the people that I had seen as a psychologist that had issues. Zero in was definitely my answer to that. I personally take one in the morning, and it's an adaptogenic, so it really adapts to different people, like personalized medicine. I hope you try it. It's something that goes along with the Trinity, or it's something you can take alone, but it is something that can help in numerous areas of your life.
Well, anyway, Dr. Ram is such an amazing woman. And, I interviewed her, like I said, a few years ago. And it was actually, she said it was one of the best interviews up to that time she had done. And, I started taking these products. In particular, I take the clean slate every day because our blood, as you know, from the food we eat, from the toxins in the air, and even from, I didn't take the jab or the shot, but a lot of people did. But even if you didn't, it's the shedding. So it's like you brush your teeth every day. This clean slate, the zeolite formulation that pulls out this, radical, metals and things in our blood, and it actually puts back the trace minerals we need. So, I mean, it's amazing products, but the proof is in the pudding. We'll just get into briefly a little bit about your stories and then get into some of the great things about these products, in particular, that there's some great discounts. And I think they'd make some great Christmas gifts. So why don't we start with you, Jill? You guys became friends, and then you both had similar stories. Why don't we start with you, Jill, just briefly, and then into Shanna?
Yes. Hi. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so blessed to be here. And especially with my business partner here, Shanna, who we became very fast friends in a DETOX Facebook group. And that was a God-led moment. So Shanna and I have very similar stories. I mean, like very parallel, identical paths. So both of our children have had vaccine injuries way before the COVID vaccine, back with childhood vaccines. And there were a lot of health issues that our kids had, from autism to ADHD to infertility. Both of our daughters were told infertility would be in their future, to digestive issues, to food allergies, to COPD. My daughter was diagnosed with COPD at the early age, in her early 20s, which is unheard of and unnecessary. All of these misdiagnoses were rooted in toxicities and deficiencies. The question was, how do we overcome that? We had each had our families at doctors, doctor after doctor after doctor, asking the right questions. But it was those moments of desperation where we felt like we weren't getting answers, and we started to research on our own, and God led us to each other because we started to share research. And the more we shared our story, the more we realized we had the same story for our children. And we knew that there were answers. We actually started to detox. And I think, Shanna, we should definitely cover when Meri said a zeolite formula. We have to cover the difference because this is not any zeolite. We both detoxed our kids with a plain zeolite, and it created autoimmune issues. And so there's information that needs to be brought to the forefront on that, research, science that needs to be brought up, because we were creating more issues than when we started because we didn't know how to detox right. We were just killing off cleanses, flushes, parasites, heavy metal detoxes in a desperation measure. But it was when we met Dr. Ram that we started to understand the regenerative part. We needed to start making sure that the immune system was supported, the digestive system, the inflammation would then start to lower as you start to remove those toxins and regenerate the body and support everybody's biochemistry. And that helps with cognitive function and just overall dropping off of all of those diagnoses that you think you have, that you think you're going to have for a lifetime. You don't have to be labeled with those illnesses and diseases. And so, as I said, both of our daughters were diagnosed with infertility. They were both told, Shanna's daughter was told that she would not have children. Go get a dog, live your life. You're not going to have kids. And my daughter was told, let us know, 3 different doctors, let us know when you want IVF. And I'm very blessed to say Shanna's daughter had a baby girl. My daughter had a baby girl. Then Shanna's daughter had a baby boy. And my daughter is due with a second baby girl at the end of January. These things, misdiagnosis, do not have to be the future. If you start to address toxicities and deficiencies and you regenerate and rebuild the body, support the biochemistry, and really take back your life. But here's the thing, supplements aren't going to do that. We tried it, it failed. Learn from our trial and error. Supplements are not going to do that. You're taking, spaghetti and throwing it at a wall, trying to figure out in desperation. And all that leads to is disappointment and frustration and fatigue. And then you're spinning your wheels. So if you can sit here with us today and kind of understand that we aren't just two people who are bringing some sort of supplement to you, we are bringing tried and true protocols formulated by a bioscience engineer that were done with intention. They're complex in creation, but easy to use. They're patented. The mechanisms of action are patented. You won't find that in supplements. So if you can sit back and kind of listen and just take it all in and understand that what we bring to you is 15, 20 years ahead. Shanna and I have 40 years combined research just on our own, let alone all of the research that we have been led to through Dr. Ram. You can overcome your health issues. God gave us a body that was intended to heal. And if you can hear the message, if you can connect the dots, if you have that aha moment today, there is hope out there.
Well, thank you, Jill. Well, Shanna, why don't you briefly share your journey?
So my son was actually vaccine injured whenever he was about 2.5 the last time he had one, and he got sick all the time. And I remember it was over his 3rd birthday, and we had taken him to the ER because he had whooping cough and he was so sick, and they actually gave him the DTaP while we were there. And I left and he was lethargic and wasn't responsive. So I took him back, and there was a new doctor who had just come on call. And his name was Dr. Young. And Dr. Young walked past. I remember him walking past the door and then backing up and like, what's going on? He looked at it. He was like, this boy needs to be admitted right now. So they admitted him. And over his 3rd birthday, he was admitted in the hospital. He was there for 4 days. And the doctor came back in and he said, if you would have gone home, you would have woken up with a dead baby. So my son had severe injury. They gave him a medical exemption then, saying that you can't. It took us 9 years to detox him with herbs and diet and everything. So fast forward to his freshman year of high school. And they wanted to diagnose him with autism and ADHD and everything. And my husband was like, no, we're not putting that on his permanent record. So we didn't do that, but they were sure that he had it. So fast forward to his freshman year of high school, and he's playing, we homeschool, but he played football for a private school. And so he's playing, and it's almost through the end of the season. He was on varsity and everything, and he was fishing with some friends and got a fish hook stuck in his finger, and I couldn't get it out, and it didn't bleed. And I knew that tetanus is actually not dangerous if you bleed, but because it's anaerobic, but if you bleed, it doesn't kill the bacteria, so you have issues. So I took him to the ER because I couldn't get it out. My husband was out of town. They removed it. They were like, well, can we give him a vaccine? I said, absolutely not. You cannot. And they were like, well, what about just the tetanus alone with nothing else in it? And because they were like, you know, he didn't bleed and everything. So I was like, okay, you can give him the tetanus alone. I remember the nurse walked in, pulled the needle out of his arm and goes, there, now he won't get anyone else sick. And he said, excuse me? And she goes, yeah, that was the DTaP. Oh. And she gave it to him without my permission. And he regressed. He started banging his head against the wall. He had actually, his 8th grade year of homeschooling, he actually was so advanced in math. In 3rd grade, he was up in 6th grade level math. And his 8th grade year, his math program was high school algebra, and he actually corrected the math program so much that they had to rewrite it because they found so many flaws in it. So he was phenomenal. His brain is phenomenal. And he regressed, and he hated math. He couldn't remember algebra. And I'm sitting here like, I don't have another 9 years to do this for my boy. And he looked at me and he goes, Mom, I'm never going to go to college, and I'm never going to have a life. And so that's whenever I met Jill. And we started doing what we could with what everybody showed, all of the influencers, all the doctors were saying, the zeolites and everything. So we're giving that to our kids. And after almost 2 years, it made the issue worse, and he got worse. And now we're looking at his junior year of high school, and I'm like desperate and don't know what to do. And that's whenever we met Dr. Rom and her husband, Clayton Thomas. And we sat with Clay on the phone, and Dr. Rom we were just trying to search for companies to help us detox the wrong detox, right? And figure out what was going on. And our community at the time of 2,400 families had the exact same issues. All 2,400 had issues coming back. The autism was coming back worse. What was going on? So he was driving to a wedding, and he was like, well, here, talk to my wife. And it was Dr. Rom, and she explained to us for 2 hours on their drive to a wedding, biochemically, what was going on in the body and why zeolite detoxes hurt. Because it strips the minerals. It doesn't remove everything. It actually causes the cells to collapse upon itself. Lysis of the cell happens. There's a lot of different things that happen. And so she sat and talked with us. And I can tell you within 2 months of starting the Trinity with my boy, right before he started the next season of high school and everything, he was completely normal again. And we changed schools. He had to go and take 1 class at the new private school, you know, because they were better in sports at the new private school and everything. And usually whenever you come into their classrooms, especially math, they're the most advanced in the state that we lived in. And they're like, you usually have to put them in, you know, tutoring classes and everything. But they're like, we'll give it a try. And so he went in their college algebra class, and the teacher was like, I can't teach this kid anything. We need to advance him into college trigonometry. This kid is a genius. He needs to be a doctor or an engineer of some kind, is what they told him. So now he's in college. He's in his senior year of college, and he is going to college to be a chiropractor. So he will be a doctor and a naturopath. So he'll take after his mama.
Wow. Well, you know, amazing. And, you know, there's so many people now that, you know, these childhood vaccines, I remember it used to just be, you know, maybe you might have to get 6 or 7, but now, at least in California, there's 72, you know, vaccinations they want them to have from birth until, you know, they're 18 or something. And the autism has just gone through the roof. What is it? 1 in 12 now have autism. And, you know, you said that it looked like your boy had some autism, Shanna. Does this help? I mean, I know you can't make claims, but is this helping people that have autistic behavior?
Oh, we have a lot of outcomes. Yes, we have outcomes of teenagers, twin teenagers who were both diagnosed with autism, who lived in another country. Dad was American, mom I think was Romanian, and they were nonverbal, and their bodies were able to regenerate after the or with the formulations, to where all of a sudden they both started talking in 2 languages because of the languages of both parents. My son no longer has any ADHD or autism, anything. My daughter was also was softly diagnosed with autism when she was in college, and she started using the formulations after college, and she was like, I wish I would have had this in college. It would have made my life so much easier. And she sees no signs of it whatsoever. She actually loves Zero In. She's like, she hates it whenever she's pregnant because it's one of the formulations you don't take when you're pregnant, and she's like, I can't wait until I have the baby so I can have Zero In back.
That is the current conversation in our household. 7 weeks till Zero In. 7 weeks.
Oh, so now the formulations, I know, like at the Trinity pack that you heard at the beginning, everybody on the commercial, you know, I have the Clean Slate bottle with me, which is actually, it is a zeolite formulation, but it doesn't just pull it out. It actually puts back the minerals that you need. That was what the difference was. Correct? And that's what Dr. Ram told you on the phone.
Yes. So so what we use, so zeolite is a blanket term of a mineral. Clinoptenolite is the appropriate term. However, most any zeolite, asbestos is a zeolite, bentonite clay is a zeolite. So there's a lot of them. But clinoptenolite is the type of zeolite that's used, and that's what a lot of the detox sprays are used. The problem is they're contaminated because they're volcanic ash and seawater, and we all know how contaminated all of that can be. So what happens is whenever they take it, they do an analysis on it to see about the purity of it, how much is clinoptenolite versus other things. So a lot of raw clino powders that you could get on Amazon or whatever are highly contaminated. They can have asbestos in it. They can have other types of zeolites that you cannot ingest that are actually carcinogen in them. So you have to test them first to see the purity. And it has to have a high silica ratio. There's over 70 different natural zeolites, and then a total of 120 if you include all of the synthetically made ones in the lab. So what they do is they absorb the positively charged toxins and different environmental factors, but also your minerals are positively charged because clino or zeolite is negatively charged. So its point is to absorb and remove, and that's like kitty litter and stuff like that. They use zeolites, different detergents, they'll use zeolites and everything. So that's what they're for. But you need a high silica ratio. So what Dr. Ram uses, the raw part of the formulation is a clino, but it is over 60% silica, which is very important because any other, and there's only Dr. Ram's sole sources from the mines that have this 60%. Everything else is below 40%. If you're not at least 50%, then if it's low silica, then it's high aluminum because it's an aluminosilicate. So there's aluminum and there's silica. And if you don't have at least 50%, the 60% is optimal. If you don't have that, your digestive system can actually break it down and leak aluminum into the digestive tract. So that's one thing. That's one thing that was happening to our kids. And we used the name brand, the best of the best, that people said that were after studies, which they weren't, and everything. So then you have that. But what Dr. Ram does is, because the silica is so important, because it is the most bioavailable mineral that you need in the body, because we are a silica being, right? So silica leaks connective tissue. Everything relies on silica. Your digestive system relies on silica. And as you age, silica drops, right? So, and the most bioavailable form of silica that you can absorb in the body is from clino. So you need a minimum of that 60%. I actually believe ours is like 67 or 68%. So,
in the Clean Slate, because
in the Clean Slate, this is talking about Clean Slate, yeah. And so what she does is she actually,
scientist. You're talking like a scientist here, which is good.
I
but
know.
I mean, we're wanting to make it, kind of dumb it down for.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can go over in the science, but what she does is she just breaks it apart and extracts only the silica. So then you have the silica.
You take a couple drops and you start small. You take drops in the morning and drops at night. And this will radically start, helping your body detoxify
Yes.
and get things out of it. So
yes, and it's because of what she does to the clino. Not because it's clino, but what she does to it that makes it so special that nothing else can do. And then it holds the minerals. So anything else, any other zeolite or detox you take actually strips the minerals off the binding sites of the cells and causes degradation and new autoimmune diseases, which is what we saw. So with Clean Slate, it actually gives into the cell, not extra outside, but into the cell, gives the minerals. So your body will actually start to repair itself. And it's also designed with communication mechanisms. So it cuts off the communication of disease in the body, removes that, actually rips it apart so that those toxins, those diseases are not a thing in the body anymore. They're not recognizable, so they can't hurt you. So it's not just removing it, it's actually causing a change in the disease structure and in the toxins to where they can't hurt you anymore, and then removes it. It's an intelligent formula.
yeah. Well, so now I'm going to talk to Jill. Jill, in regards to, you talk about people that a lot of people are having to deal with autism. I know my daughter, my little grandson, 5, he was just diagnosed with autism. I was talking to Dr. Judy Mikovich about this at an event just about a month ago. And she said, oh, you can shift that. I mean, are you seeing people that have autism, their kids have been diagnosed with autism, that is this probably the more important of the Trinity pack to take is the Clean Slate?
So yes, we are seeing reversal of autism symptoms, and I'm very careful on the wording there. You can tell. So we are not claiming to cure, treat, heal, prevent any illness or disease, because I don't want anyone to think otherwise. So it's the mechanism of action. You reverse the damage to the cells. You reverse what is in the body that's not working correctly. Then the body starts to work correctly. Therefore, the symptoms can start to fall off. So just being very clear there, we're not making any claims, but we have many outcomes in our community alone. And that's not the whole root community. That's just our community, the people we talk to often, where kids are starting to talk more. They are making better eye contact. They are communicating with their parents. They are thinking through things that they hadn't normally thought through. I'm a mom who her son said, no, I'm not getting, he's actually in his late teens. And he said, I'm not getting any better. And she and her husband looked at each other and they said, oh, yes, you are. We see the difference. So even if the older teenager or young 20 can't identify it in themselves, the parents are seeing it and they're reporting back to us all of the improvements that they're seeing. So you asked if Clean Slate is what should be used. Absolutely, 100% when you need to clean up the system. So you have to clean up the system first. Give your body a clean slate. But I really feel like Restore is one of the most underrated formulations because it is a blend of ingredients that is just so powerful in tiny doses. And when I say tiny doses, my granddaughter is 2, and I remember when she had some constipation issues, and we put one drop on her, on her finger, on her tongue, and in an hour, the constipation was over. So instead of giving her a medication that you can't even pronounce the ingredients of, that is supposed to be safe for kids and is not, we gave her something natural, and her body woke up and it was like, oh, I know exactly what to do. Thanks for the help. So when you're talking about kids with autism or really any illness or disease, we all hear it. Our gut is our second brain. Gut is where our illness and disease starts. So restoring the gut microbiome along with cleaning up the mess and giving the body a clean slate is absolutely imperative. So when you can restore the gut microbiome, the digestive system is working, you're lowering the inflammation. And I know everybody is taking the IV, and so when the IV, let's say that they're all taking ivermectin, so the anti-parasitic, which is really, it's a great way to take care of parasites. But the problem is everybody's taking this, it's like setting a bomb off in the body. So instead of doing it gently while regenerating the body, we're basically setting a bug bomb off in your one body that you have. So Restore is antifungal, anti-parasitic, antibacterial, antimicrobial, antiviral. It helps to reduce all of those invaders while simultaneously restoring the gut microbiome so that more invaders don't come. So then you have good digestion, you have good your good digestive health where everything is moving the way it's supposed to. Your detox pathways are open. Now, when you're using Clean Slate, we're also simultaneously opening up detox pathways, which everybody loves to talk about, incorporating an anti-parasitic while restoring the body, removing the heavy metals and biofilm, which is what the parasites feed off of and hide behind. So it's made with intention. And then it's patented. All of the mechanisms of action are patented. There are no other supplements out there that do this. These are nutraceutical. They're formulated by somebody who used to work for Pfizer, Biogen, IDEC, Alexion, Bristol Myers Squibb. She left because of her own cancer in her own line. So she had a brain tumor, a spinal tumor, 3 kinds of skin cancer. She had fallen into a bed of ticks at 19. Lost her memory. They treated her with chemo and radiation because back then they didn't know what to do. So she still fights all of these, constantly in a battle of making sure her cellular health is optimal, her mitochondrial health, her digestive system, that the inflammation is down, that her cells are communicating, cutting off the bad communication with the bad cells and creating good cellular communication. So all of that to say, and I know some of that feels sciencey and Jill and Shanna are too much science and we need to bring it back. So let's bring it back. These formulations are all natural. They encompass the whole body. They're complex in creation, but very easy to use. We live in a world where more is better, but quite honestly, these formulations work in small doses, in microdosing, which is the way that they are intended to be. And so if I always say this, I would rather you see you take something half the dose in high quality than I would low dose in something that has fillers and you don't know what's in it and what about heavy metals and you don't know who makes it, who formulates your supplements. Are they made, if you're pulling one from here and one from here and one from here, are they formulated to work together? Probably not. Definitely not. These are.
Well, and then the third one in the Trinity is the Zero In, which actually is an amazing product. Why don't you explain about the Zero In, Jill, and about the dopamine levels and really what athletes are taking this and how it's really causing people to function in the way they think?
Yes, and it's not just athletes. So this is great for ADHD, autism, neurodegenerative diseases, brain fog, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. So when your gut health is bad, your neurotransmitters are not producing. So your norepinephrine, your dopamine, your serotonin are not being created in the body. And so you have this, you can have poor mood, you can have brain fog, depression, anxiety, low performance. And so when you can get the digestive system to make those neurotransmitters, all of a sudden your neurotransmission is awake and your brain is awake and your brain fog starts to lower and your ADHD symptoms. If you know somebody with ADHD, and it's interesting because they talk about kids and teens and 20s, but they left out a lot of people who had symptoms of ADHD or autism when they were younger and are just now realizing it. But for ADHD, for students, for athletes, for performance, for being able to focus and study and clarity, people who are worried about dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, these all natural adaptogenics work in the body to make your brain function the right way because we're making the gut function the right way. So when you add on Zero In to restore, to Clean Slate and make it the Trinity, all of a sudden you have this. Your whole body is encompassed. We're not just trying to do a liver cleanse or a gallbladder flush or drink a Red Bull for our brain and our energy. We're not drinking a moldy Starbucks drive-through in the morning trying to get some energy. We are encompassing the whole body. We're trying to regenerate and rebuild the body, and that's what this is encompassing. So it's not just about one thing. It's about making your life feel better, your whole body feel better. I have a friend who for 4 years, you would think my best friend in the whole world would be like, sure, I'll do what you're doing. 4 years later, she just called me 2 months ago and she goes, that's it. And I said, what? And she goes, whatever you got, I'm doing it. I'm watching you and I'm watching me, and we are the same age moving forward, and I want to go the way you're going. And I said, okay, great, let's do it. 30 days later, I just checked in with her, and we had talked in her, she had asked me questions and things. But 30 days later, I text her and I go, okay, it's been 30 days. How are you? She goes, I'm a whole new woman. That right there meant everything to me. I could take my best friend who didn't hear me for 4 years and make her feel like a whole new woman. Yes, please. Every time.
Well, Shanna, I know you actually had a lot of challenges too, because I'm a firm believer in testimonies. You were at a place that your gut, I mean, you weren't even able. Why don't you just share your story briefly about what happened with,
Yeah.
particularly your gut?
So my gut happened because of different surgeries I had to have from different cancers that I had: cervical cancer, endometriosis, I had basal cell and melanoma cancer. So there's a lot of issues going on. At 25, they had to do a full emergency full hysterectomy whenever I was 25, and they took everything, and that plunged me into menopause at 25 years old. And from that, because the endometriosis had permeated my intestines, they had to bring in an intestinal specialist. And because they had to cut the lining of the intestines and fix the permeations in my colon, I went through 7 exploratory surgeries in 2 years trying to figure out what was still wrong. Was the endometriosis gone? What was still going on? And I was diagnosed with paralysis of the ileum, which is the middle intestines, to where I was on a double dose of Miralax twice a day, only being able to drink Ensures and not be able to eat food because my body wouldn't digest anything. If I ate something, it would feel like a softball was dipped in glass, rolled around, and then lit on fire, being pushed through my intestines. It was horrible. I'd go weeks without being able to use the bathroom and have to go to the hospital and then have to dig it out and do all kinds of surgeries. It was horrible. So I lived like that for 13 years. And so that was about how it was. I started losing my hair. My hair went gray. I aged very quickly. I looked like I was in my upper 40s, or I'm sorry, my upper 50s. I looked like people guessed 55 to 59 was the guess people had. And whenever I was in my 30s. And so it was a very difficult time. And I can tell you that for me personally, for my outcome, and everybody's biochemistry is different. So this is not a claim to cure, prevent anything. But my personal outcome, I started on the Trinity only. Within 4 months, my menopause was gone. I brought my body out of menopause, and then my body started to regulate. My hair started to come back. And then with the stacking of the other formulations for what my cells needed, I'm now a grandmother, and everybody thinks that I'm my college son's cousin. And none of my cancers have come back. I'm able to use the bathroom. I was actually on the phone with Jill. The first time I felt this sensation in 13 years to be able to use the bathroom on my own. And I started crying. I was like, what is going on? And I actually felt the need to go number 2.
Wow. And so regulated your system.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I go 3 times a day. I eat a healthy diet because I know what my body does and doesn't need. We also have a genetics test that is beyond any genetics test that is on the market out there, doing over 130,000 biomarkers, which most are 30 biomarkers for different cellular functions that your personal chemistry of your body needs. And it'll tell you how you should eat, what absorption of nutrients you need, and everything according to your personal biochemistry. So I do that. And so I just eat everything that my body will absorb, and I'm great.
So where do you get that test? Is that
it's Dr. Rom. So you can get it from the rootbrands.com/now is the time. So they can get it from.
Yeah. So what's that under? What's
DRC. So it's actually, this is what it looks like, so that you guys know your DRC Ventures.
So it's under the shop, and it's under all products, right at the top.
Yep, shop and all products. So, and then it's just a swab, and you send it in, and you get literally a printout, a book of you.
Oh, a printout. Oh, I need to do that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what's really nice about it, Meri, is there's so many, people grab, especially this time of year, they grab the $25 one, right? And they get it, but they get all this information with no one to read it. Then you have to find somebody to have a consultation with who can interpret it. This comes with, it's called the Book of You. So it comes with, each page has a summary, and then you can click on the summary and it opens up an expanded version, walks you through. Anybody can understand it. The lay person, you do not have to be a scientist to understand this. It walks you through step by step, shows you on a graph, like a little gas gauge, where you are, what you need. And then Dr. Ram came back in behind it. And if you need something, it tells you right there what you need. So you can click on it and get exactly what you need. It's so user friendly. And so what I say is you can buy something for $25 on sale on a Black Friday, but I will tell you that you're going to have to hire a genetic counselor.
So if they go, let's put that up on the screen where they can go, the RitBrands.com / now is the time. Now they're going to have to set up, it's not an MLM, but this is an affiliate program that they'll register with their own, their own name. Like mine is Now is the Time. Right. But they can do it whatever they want.
While you grab a drink, it's super easy. If you're on the RitBrands.com, the easiest thing you can do is use the drop-down menu and go to sign in, log in, sign up. Sign up first. It makes the whole process so much easier. It takes 10 seconds. Sign up first. First name, last name, email address, the state you live in. And then there's a box that says referral code. Just please make sure it says now is the time, no spaces. Now is the time. And it will fill in when it'll say, Meri, I agree that Meri referred me. The reason you want to do that is then you get support. You get to join our Detox Girls Facebook group. We answer a ton of questions. We have 6 years of 6 years of education, 4 years of resources for you to get access to. We have a quick start, an ebook. We have a course if you need to take a course to walk you through every day, step by step. So that referral code is simply just to tie you into our community to gain all of our free resources so that you can access those, because Meri is part of our community. You will be part of our community. So drop down menu, sign up, make sure the referral code box says now is the time, no spaces. And then once you have that account created, then you can shop. So if you go to the shop and you do all products, you will see the genetic test. If you go to the wellness genetic test, DRC genetic test. Okay. Yep. And then if you use that all products or wellness, you'll see clean slate, restore, zero in separately, but you'll see them as a bundle. So there's the Trinity or the Trinity Plus. The Plus just has an extra box of restore, which that's one of my favorites. So I highly recommend it. And one thing I would like to say is today is the 16th, and hopefully everybody's seeing this live. Through tomorrow, the 17th, there's 15% off. So if you sign up with Meri's code, now is the time. If you make your code, use her code to register an account, you can then also use a code at checkout that is holiday 15, but you have to sign up with Meri's code, holiday 15 at checkout, and you can get 15% off through the end of the day tomorrow, Wednesday, December 17th.
And if for some reason you see this after December 17th, you can add to cart for a one-time purchase. But if you do subscribe and save, which is like Amazon subscribe and save kind of thing, but it's free, you can always, and whenever you purchase through subscribe and save, you always get 10% off with every order, free shipping after the first order. And then every 4 months you get $50 or $100 that you can spend on the Root Brands Now is the Time website.
Right. And in addition, it's flexible. You can change those products month to month. So if you have enough of something, you can switch that out and get only what you need. So you're only buying what you need each month. And like Shanna said, every 4 months you get 50, 100, or 150 back in reward points, which is great. So the company is very invested. If you're invested in your health, they're very much invested back in you. And then join the Facebook group, the Detox Girls. There's membership questions. It'll say who invited you. Please use Meri's name, because that just make sure that we connect you back. If you have any questions, we know where to come back to. And we offer so much support there, but feel free to ask questions in the group and use the search bar. We have every single topic covered. You can use any keyword and search it. We have every topic covered in the group. We've been doing this long enough that we have so much help and support in that group.
Well, and when I first started, like I interviewed Dr. Christina Rahm, and then I ordered the Trinity pack, and they're all great products. And so then I always get the clean slate every month because I
Mhm.
take this. I mean, every product should be taken, but sometimes you just whatever. There's great collagen. They've got so many great give me back my youth. I mean, there's so many things that Dr. Ram has pretty much created, and
Yeah,
they're marvelous products. But I started with the Trinity pack,
yeah, yeah.
and that's what I recommend everybody to. Now, in regards to going back, because of what I'm going through with my little grandson with the autism, how old can people be to take this clean slate? Like,
Yeah. So the great part about when you register using Mary's code is that we have an ebook, and in that ebook, we have child dosing that is directly from the science department. So it's not what we think you should take, it's the science department guide. But everybody should start slow. From 0 to 100, you're going to start slow and you're going to build up. People can't believe how effective these drops are. They underestimate how effective everything is. So the great news is you only need a little bit. It goes a long way. Kids can take it. It is safe. It's all natural. You are in charge. So the parents are always in charge. So you start slow and you move up as you feel that your child can. We don't say that out of fear. We say that out of, your child best, yourself best. So we've got to really dive into that intuition and how we feel about our own bodies, and then let that intuitive nature guide you forward.
This is amazing. And, I forget how much I've been so busy traveling. I just got back from Nigeria. There's so many things that are going on. We're doing another Open the Heavens coming up in Las Vegas this coming May 1st and 2nd. We're just finalizing the location. And I know that Shanna was at my very first Open the Heavens in Mount Rushmore area at the
Mhm.
Monument Fine Arts Theater. And so many people just were so excited about these products. And then you get so busy, I forget. Like, I mean, I go like, oh my goodness, I need to order another Zero In. I need to order some more Restore. And,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's just so good to see you girls. And I'm so excited. So we're going to put this up. It's not live right now, but we're going to put it up. And so you guys use that holiday 15 when you're
Right.
checking out to get 15%. But otherwise, you go to therootbrands.com/now is the time, no spaces. When you sign up, you get a free, link that you can sign up, and then you can share it with other
Mhm.
people. It's nothing to join. Share it with other people, and they'll get a discount if they start using
Yep.
your referral code. And what is it that they get? 15% when they share it with somebody who buys? What is the
Yeah. Yeah. You earn 15% back in product credit. And there's a whole, if you're a provider, if you're a doctor, a nurse, a healthcare provider, concierge, biological dentist, if you're doing anything in the health space where you are seeing patients or clients, reach out to Meri and ask her to connect you directly to Shanna and I, and we will help you, because we are changing lives with better patient outcomes, and then also a stream of income for those who are dedicated to helping others. When you're a servant to helping the world heal, there's a way to access better health, outcomes, and better income.
Right. No, it does. It can generate revenue stream as well. But so anyway, well, listen, thank you so much. Shanna, do you have anything finally to say? Any last words to say? I know it's so exciting to see you girls, and I miss you. We haven't talked in a while. But one last thing, what would you each maybe want to share before we leave the program today?
We miss you too, Meri. I'm so excited whenever you're like, hey, we're back. I'm like, yay, Meri. We want to thank everybody for being here, for trusting Meri. She has such incredible worth. Her heart is pure. She loves the Lord with all of her heart, soul, and mind. Every thought she has is for humanity and the people that the Lord loves so much to go to the cross for. So I want to thank you guys for trusting Meri. She's a worthy servant of the Lord. And for Dr. Ram, she loves the Lord with all of her heart too. All of her formulations come to her from the Lord. She researches them biblically. So we are the creators of the company are biblically based, solid believers. in the Lord Jesus Christ. So I want to tell you guys that, no woo-woo stuff or anything like that. We want to thank you guys so much, and just remember that your body was created to regenerate, and disease is just a signal that there's a dysregulation. And when you fix that dysregulation and give the body the communication it needs, your body will naturally heal, because we serve a great God, and that's what he created us to do.
Yeah, you know, and as you say that, and then I'm going to ask Jill the same question, but it reminds me when I interviewed Dr. Ram that she was at a conference somewhere, and some woman came up to her and said, there's going to be a day coming in the near future that God is going to use you as an Esther to really help humanity. And they had no clue what was going to happen when this whole, pandemic started, and the formulations that that God has given her. She actually gets these downloads from the Holy Spirit as to how to formulate this, being a scientist, but also a doctor as well. And so, Jill, what lastly would you like to say?
I think if I can bring anything to the table, it's that in the world of social media, where every shiny thing is out there and all of these marketing influencers are out there, if you can cut through the noise and see the difference in supplements versus quantum nutraceuticals, it will change your life. And so without making any claims, what I can say is people have gone from bedridden to thriving. You're looking at one sitting in the middle of us right here. So if you've been struggling, you feel overwhelmed, you feel lost, you feel alone, you feel like you're not getting answers from the white coats that are supposed to be giving you the answers, just pray on it and see if you feel like this is the direction you want to go, because it has changed so many lives, and we know it can change yours. And so if you can open your mind and open your heart and just see the difference, we hope that you're able to count on Meri. Meri is somebody that you know, love, you trust, you watch her. She brings us to you for that reason, because she knows and trusts us, and we know and trust Dr. Ram. If you can see that, this can in fact be life-changing. The other thing is, there's no overnight success. We are not some shiny thing that's going to be an overnight success. It took you X number of years to get in the place you are with your health. You have to give yourself patience and time and consistency. Stick with it, because it will change your life, and your body is intended and made to heal.
Yes. Well, thank you, Jill and Shanna, and thank you for watching Now is the Time. Once again, you can click on the link below, therootbrands.com/now is the time. And, I am on a Root Prime. It's like Amazon Prime, subscribe and save. It's monthly. I get the minimal clean slate, but, you get the free shipping. And then every 4 months, I get, a $50 certificate that I use towards the products. But if you order more every month, it can be $100. It adds up. And then as you share this with other people, and then they just sign up for free and then share that with others, and people purchase, they get, money, bonus dollars that they can be using to purchase products as well. So it really makes sense. And I'm going to order that one thing that you talked about what is that name of that again?
The genetics test, DRC genetics test.
DRC genetics test. Okay, I'm going to do that when we get on. I'm going to sign up and get that genetics test. Because I didn't know about that, but I think that sounds amazing that it will, you actually take a swab, and then it's sent into a lab, and then they send you back all the results.
Yeah. And it doesn't store any of your data or any information. So keep it, because you'll have to redo the whole thing if you lose it.
Wow.
Well, you get an email when you register your test. So it is completely de-identified. So you are not putting your information at risk, and that can't be said of other companies.
Yes, no, I understand. Okay, well, listen, great having you on, you guys. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to go online now and get the test and do all the.
Don't forget to use
some more zero in and clean, zero in and restore.
Yes.
So anyway, it's exciting. You guys have been on these products a few years, and they really do work. And I'm excited about the 15% off. That if you order before tomorrow, hopefully we're going to put this up today sometime. But if not, you said you can still get the 10% off if you do the subscribe and save. Yeah. Okay, well, listen, Merry Christmas, girls. Happy New Year. And please, you guys, follow or subscribe, or, subscribe because I'm now on YouTube. I've been taken down off of there several times, but we're rebuilding, rebranding, and rebooting. And so, you guys, please, sharing is caring. Share this with other people. Say, you know what, this is a great show. You really want to hear about it. I think there's been an influx, this huge surge of autism. It's affected my family now. And so I think that I'm excited to see, I know we can't claim any cures, but I'm excited to see what will be implemented from this. And I'm excited about what God is doing. So God bless you, girls. God bless all of you. And thank you for watching. Now is the time. We'll see you soon.